So I think we're a couple of minutes early, but we can go live. I was messing around trying to get this set up to work correctly, and I decided to stream tonight instead of record in advance and post it and see how it all works out. So welcome on this Saturday night, and the topic is personal development. So yeah, this is something that we probably all been working on our whole lives, but it's a real visible topic, let's say, on the internet and social media and everywhere else. So it's worth getting into. And I just have a couple of books. I actually went out and bought a book today from a guy that you might have heard of, and his name is Jordan B. Peterson. And I'd seen some of his stuff on YouTube, as most of us probably have. If you haven't, this is the book. Actually, let me just make sure I can see it. You can see it. But this is the book here. It's called Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. And he is a professor. What's it say in the back here? I'll show you his face. That's Jordan B. Peterson right there. Yeah, so I decided to go out and pick this up today, and let me get his actual title and where he is. And I have a couple of other books here that I'm going to show, but Jordan B. Peterson, interesting guy. He is a Canadian psychologist, author, and media commentator. And where does he? University of Toronto. Okay. But yeah, he's been. You'll see a lot of his stuff on YouTube and other platforms, and some very interesting stuff. So this book, I've been, watching his videos for a while and looking at what he has to say, and definitely got some interesting points. So I said I'd pick it up. I wonder if any of you read this book. I haven't touched it yet, so I just literally got it today, but just reading off the back of it here, it says, part quest, part adventure, masses of passion, masses of wisdom. These are the reviews, from the Sunday Times. From The Guardian, a personal trainer for the soul, Peterson offers an invaluable reminder that we're finite and inherently imperfect, that we can't control everything. That's The Guardian. New Statesman, generally enlightening and often poignant, he is a father figure who takes his audience seriously. And here is a grander narrative about truth, being, order, and chaos that stretches back into the dawn of human consciousness. The Times says, a philosophy of the meaning of life, the most lucid and touching prose Peterson has written. Daily Telegraph says, wisdom combined with good advice. So, yeah, it's easy enough. Go check him out on YouTube. I won't say that I've, been using his philosophies over the years, because it's quite new to me. It's probably in the last year I became aware of him, and he popped up. I originally remember it was to do with, I think he had some, himself and his family, they have some issues with, I think an immune deficiency or immune disorder. Where they had some illnesses that were affecting the whole family, and yeah, he talked about that in a lot of detail about the struggles of the whole family. But quite a brilliant psychologist. So yeah, that's one to check out. That's something new, so I can't really speak on him. So that's one. Another one that I got, and I've kind of looked at this over the years, but I ended up getting it in audiobook. And then I decided to get the actual book, which is a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. Let me go back to the screen so I know that you can see it. Atomic Habits. International bestseller. An easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. That's actually very good. And the audiobook, if you can get your hands on the audiobook, is actually very good as well. So yeah, James Clear, Atomic Habits, and there's a lot of good stuff in here. I started using a bit of this recently, like things. There was one in particular that stood out to me called habit stacking, and it was the basics of it were, and what I was doing recently for it was, if there's something that you do every day at the same kind of time, or a regular event, let's say you have a meeting that you have to go to every single day, well, immediately after that meeting, add your good habit, whether it's 5 minutes of something, just let that be the trigger. The meeting you have to do every day. For example, you have a meeting at a specific time in the morning or before the meeting, you know this is coming up, then, for example, 5 minutes on the treadmill, or 5 minutes of exercise, or 5 minutes of meditation. But let these other things that you have to do every day, that you would normally do every day, trigger these other habits that you put in place, and that's called habit stacking. But there's so many more. So yeah, definitely check that one out. You can see it there, sorry. Atomic Habits, James Clear. I'm gonna have a look at what else is in you'll see my little bookcase behind me here. I've got a bunch of stuff and a bunch of things in there, so I'm gonna have a look in a minute. You'll see these are a small collection of books I've collected over the years. There's another one I got recently as well. This is by Robert Greene. Now you may have heard of him before. Robert Greene, I think he has written a few more books, and let me just get the name of the books he's written, but this one is called Power. American author, and let me get the books that he's written. So the 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, the 33 Strategies of War, the 50th Law, Mastery, The Laws of Human Nature. But there's another one, The Habits of Highly Effective. Actually, do you know what? I'm mixing up Robert Greene and another guy, and it's good that I am, because I found the name. This other one that was really interesting that I read in ebook and digital download form a while ago was by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And some of the habits, well, there are lists out there, but in a quick summary, this is an interesting. So the 7 habits are: be proactive is number 1. 2, begin with the end in mind. So, you have a clear vision. Number 3, put first things first. So the important stuff first. There's a few phrases for this type of thing, which is like eat the frog. Do the hardest thing first and get it out of the way. And that's a good thing to do. If there's something that a big thing that you're kind of dreading to do, but you have to do it, and it's the most impactful, is do it first and get it out of the way. Get it done, but get it done right. So put first things first. Number 4, think win-win. How you can create win-win situations for everyone involved, because they tend to be the most successful. Both parties then want this thing to succeed. Number 5, seek to understand first before making yourself understood. I think that's obviously a good approach to most things, to understand what you're getting yourself into or what you're about to do before you try to convey your motivation, your motives. 6, learn to synergize. Well, of course, so synergy means that the combined result is greater than the sum of its parts, like as in 1 + 1 equals more than that. It's not just 1 + 1 equals 2, but the sum of everybody working together, the synergy of that, has a cumulative effect which is bigger than the sum of its parts. And 7 is sharpen the saw. So again, that relates to your skills. Sharpen your skills and tools you have available, and keep yourself being able to work at the highest level. And that can go back to your health, which I've talked about before. And actually, I was at the gym this evening. Since I moved house a while ago, my the routine. You can see I'm a bit kind of red and all over the place from being in the gym. Still wearing the gym top. But the habit broke down a little bit because of moving house and everything and work and just being busy over the last few months. So I found I had to really be conscious about trying to put it back in place, join the gym as close to me as possible where I live now. I joined 2 gyms. One was too far away, but then I joined one that was closer, which I went to this evening. That was, the easier it is, the better. So if you can make something easy, and that's one from Atomic Habits. If you want to start a new habit, make it as easy as possible to start. Something like going to the gym is like leave your gym clothes as close to the bed in the morning, or a more severe version of that would be sleep in your gym clothes and wake up and you can go straight out the door. But like, leave them close to you, have everything ready the night before. Anything that you want to do, make it easy and available and obvious. And things that you don't want to do, make them harder and less available. Like, hide all the junk food in the house. Don't have it in the house to begin with. And put healthy stuff around, for example, if that relates to health and eating healthy. So things like that. That's James Clear. But back to this one, Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. I'm not going to speak too much on that, but if you're interested in, business and strategy, this is kind of an interesting one. I'll just have a little read on the back of it here for a second. Okay, we'll read them. How many does it give me on the back? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'll read them out for fun. So, Law 1, never outshine the master. Law 2, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Law 3, conceal your intentions. Law 4, always say less than necessary. And there are 48. Now, it's a strategy book. Like, it doesn't relate to every situation and depends, there are lots of caveats. But yeah, it's I suppose it's kind of like the art of war when it comes to business and things like that. But an interesting small little book nonetheless, and probably an easy read if you're interested. One of the first people I ever kind of got into, and I didn't buy books, I kind of just watched and listened to his audio stuff over the years, and a lot of people would know him, would be Tony Robbins. And like 25 years ago, I started reading some of his books, Awaken the Giant Within and these type of things. And then I actually met him in 2016 when I went to the Summit event in Dublin, in the convention centre of Dublin with my older brother. And yeah, we met Tony Robbins there and just, said hello. After the event, it was an all-day event, kind of personal mastery, business mastery event. And nice guy. I was the first that walked up to him at the end. Big tall guy, 6'7", dwarfed me, and shook his hand, got a photograph with him, which I have there somewhere. And yeah, he was a nice guy. He just said, hello Alan, nice to meet you, hope you enjoyed the event. And that was in 2016, and I was still pushing on to try and get to this place. Now, I can't attribute everything that happened that day to the success that I had after that, but I think if you're open to going to these events in the first place, you're already on the road to trying to improve yourself and trying to do these things. So it's just a continuation. It's already in your head. And then hearing other people that are on the same path and trying to do the same things in personal development and improvement. It's just good to hear everyone's story and other people trying to do similar things and like-minded people. It's always good to meet like-minded people. But Tony Robbins was one of the first. And Jim Rohn is the guy that he learned from, and Jim Rohn was involved with one of these companies. I think it was Herbalife. I know, whatever. But I never used the products. But some of the quotes from Jim Rohn, actually amazing. Like, if you look up some Jim Rohn stuff, he's the guy that Anthony Robbins or Tony Robbins learned from. And some of his quotes are really good. I've got an audio, I've got some videos and some audio from Jim Rohn, but here are some quotes that are quite good. Look them up. Just type in Jim Rohn. His surname is Rohn, Jim Rohn, and quotes, and you'll see some of them. There's lots of photographs as well. One, for example, this is an obvious one, but you've heard it and it kind of stemmed from him. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Another one. We must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment. Another one. It is the set of the sails, not the direction of the wind, that determines which way we go. You got to listen to this guy sometimes. He's so good. I know this next one from the audio that I have. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. And that kind of relates to just, don't wish something was just easier so you could attain it. Just wish you were better, get more skills, work harder to attain the skills. Because if something is so easy, it means anybody can get it. It's usually not worth much. Like, it doesn't have high value. It's not very useful or beneficial to get it. But the harder something is to attain, the higher the barrier to entry to something, the fewer people are in competition for it, because it takes a lot to build up the skills and ability to get these things. So there's a phrase that I use personally. I don't know if I made this up, but I say it a lot. I don't know if I made it up or I paraphrased it from someone else. And it goes kind of like this: if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. And if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. So what that means is, if you choose, let's say for example, if we relate it to work, if you choose a job that's easy and anybody can do it, well, it means that they can replace you at any given moment. Anybody can do that job. It's quite easy to bring somebody else in and take over, because it's not very skilled. So that will likely mean that the value that you're giving them is not very high, and the pay in return, what they give you for that time, won't be very high either. And if you choose something that's very, very difficult, it takes a lot of training, a lot of skill, a lot of learning, and not that many people are willing to do that, then there's less competition at that area, because it's a much more highly skilled and difficult area to get into. Hence, the reward is much greater. The reward is higher, because you're not that easy to replace. So the harder you are to replace, the more value you're recognized as providing. And it usually turns out that you get paid more for that. It's more, you're bringing more value to the marketplace. And that's, I think, again, Jim Rohn spoke about that a lot. But check him out. He's the guy who taught a lot of his stuff to Anthony Robbins or Tony Robbins. So yeah, I said what I'm actually going to do tonight, and I'm not going to stay on this one that long, because it's the first time I've gone live on YouTube, and hopefully everything's going okay. I'm flicking back and forth to the live streaming tab. There's a little delay on it, which I can see that it's working okay, but I'm streaming it from this OBS studio that I use, and everything seems alright at the moment. So some of the books that I have in the bookshelf here, and it's only a small bookshelf, I only put it in not too long ago. So I actually picked up, and this is not a self-help book, this is a biography done by somebody else. I picked up Elon Musk's book, and honestly I haven't read it because I know so much about him already. Walter Isaacson is the author, and again, I don't know what Walter Isaacson. I picked up the book and I said at some point I'll have a read through it, but I've probably followed Elon Musk. Now he's one of the most famous men in the world, but I started following him probably 10-12 years ago. I'd say definitely, no, it is at least 10 years now, because then when I went and started training as a network engineer, I was talking to people about Elon Musk, and nobody knew who the hell he was and what I was talking about. And I mentioned that he co-founded PayPal, and that he was working on SpaceX and electric cars, and now, but nobody really knew of him. And yeah, I got the book just to, I don't know, read through, gain some inspiration from it, and see if you can always take something from somebody's story, some inspiration. I think it's good to see how they did what they did, and if you can gain even some kind of nugget from it, it's worthwhile. I've got a couple of other biographies there as well, and again, I haven't read some of them. I'm not even sure where I got this, but the problem with this bookshelf now is because I'm a techie and I've got lots of tech stuff around, and cameras and audio equipment and everything, that the little bookshelf has become a bookshelf / technology shelf, equipment shelf. It's getting I don't know if you can see if I get closer to it. Like, it's got little lab mic cases on it and little connectors, if you can still hear me, little connectors for top of cameras and microphones and stuff in here, and yeah, it's turning into a bit of a mess. I think I'll have to get some kind of organizer or a bigger one. I've got one of my old cameras there, old DSLR. But yeah, the other one then, like, everybody knows this guy, Steve Jobs. I don't think I bought that. I think somebody may have left that in my house one time. I don't know where it actually came from. But obviously Apple, most valuable company on the planet. Is it still? Probably is. And Steve Jobs. So I haven't read it, and maybe at some point I'll take interest in that. Like, I've watched the movies, you know, tend to look at the movies and listen to audio a lot. I do read a lot, but I tend to read a lot of stuff that's in front of me on the screen. I read articles and on websites. When I do sit down to read a book, you know, it is good because you can focus on it, but you have to have the time to stay undistracted. I want to just call one out here. It's one I actually picked up from an Irish author, somebody I met here through a property group that I was involved in. And yeah, this is one I've started some interesting stuff in, and it's to do with it's called the Game Changer Formula. Let me show you there. From Rory Prendergast. Good one to check out. So it's really about streamlining the process of, you know, if you're an entrepreneur or a business, and sometimes you can be the bottleneck to your own success. You're the one in the way, and there are processes that you can put in place to help improve things. We always think that we're the only one that can do something in our life or in our business or something, but this discusses how you can break out of that trap and improve the efficiencies and the processes that you have, or put better systems in place, essentially, that can help. So check that one out. Again, I've read some of that. Need to get more in depth with it. I'm just going to give a little call out to a book here that was co-authored by someone I know quite well, because I'm related to him. It's my brother, and he gave me this, and I've had a scan through it, and it's actually really good and a well-made book. And it's about, kind of, the world famous, really, if you know about this stuff, but about the furniture and carpet industries in Navan, County Meath in Ireland, which I'm in County Meath now. And this book that my brother Gary O'Mara, you can see his name there, co-authored with Ken Davis, it's called Of Wood and Wool: How the Furniture and Carpets Industry Sowed the Seeds of Innovation in Navan. So part of the Enterprise series of books. Yeah, really well made, really well put together. There's a lot of history there. Huge history there to look back on. So yeah, if you can get your hands on that one, I would, and we'll check it out. What else? This is, I suppose, this goes towards health. This one here that I picked up, rather than personal development, but I mean, it's all related. You're trying to improve yourself. So yeah, it gets quite complex. So I have a little bookmark. I've just got into it as well. It's called Outlive. You may have heard of this guy called Peter Attia. I don't know if it has a picture of him, but look him up, and he goes really in depth. So there's some people like promoting on the back, or giving some comments. Like Hugh Jackman is one. I think he helped with a lot of the stuff that he did in his career. Andrew Huberman, PhD, Professor of Neurobiology at Stanford University School of Medicine. You probably heard of Andrew Huberman, the Huberman Lab podcast, which is just one I watch as well. It's very good. And a couple of other people from like New York Times. Stephen D. Levitt, New York Times best-selling co-author of Freakonomics. I've heard of that, Freakonomics. But this is a really interesting one for the science and art of longevity. So something I have to look at a bit more. I do watch a couple of people like David Sinclair, PhD, who's in Stanford School of Medicine. I think it's Stanford. An Australian professor at Stanford. Let me make sure it's Stanford and not Harvard. David Sinclair. And he's a guy that is studying longevity. Australian-American biologist, known for his research on aging and epigenetics. Sinclair is a professor of genetics at Harvard, not Stanford, Harvard Medical School, and is a co-director of its Paul F. Glenn Center of Biology and Aging Research. But that whole field of longevity study is really interesting. It's something I'm curious about when in the future it kind of merges with technology, and I've spoken about this before. I'm always interested to see when they may merge it with nanotechnology, when that becomes really sufficiently advanced to be able to deliver targeted medicines and therapies and things like this, and when quantum computing and AI start to govern that or to contribute to that. It's going to be a really interesting field of study. Let's see, what else do I have? It's kind of difficult to get the books out because I put so much crap that I've been testing out all the audio equipment recently. This is an old one. I remember this was given to me when I worked years ago, like 25 years ago, in Tricom Electronics. And this is just a good book. I read this and it's crazy. A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. That's the original. What year is this? What year is that published? If you haven't read that, or you haven't heard about it before, check it out. I'm trying to see what year this is actually published. It has to be in the 90s, like so. Printing History, Bantam Press edition, published 1988. Then another edition, 1995, 95 twice, 96, 97. I got it from this guy in 1999. So a few years later. Some of the concepts in here, like it is made in a way, or written in a way, that you can get into and you can actually understand. I know we're getting off topic, it's not personal development, it's just zombie shelf. There's the contents. Introduction by Carl Sagan as well. Black holes, that's what he's known for. All the theory on black holes. But yeah, great book if you're into science. I don't know if you're able to pick up audio when I'm too far away. I wonder where I got some of these books. Like I found, I'm knocking the microphone all over the place. When I was digging through some boxes after we'd moved, and I don't know what the hell this one is. Has anybody ever heard of this? I thought it was a self-help book, and it doesn't seem to be. The Ontology of Fear. 20 haunting stories for winter nights. So this is not self-help. I thought it was some kind of like how to, deal with the fear in your life, but no. But I honestly don't know where some of these came from. Oh, this is a good one. And it's a business book. So this microphone, I was messing with it, trying to get it in the right angle. I took it off and flipped it around, and now it's loose. I'm gonna have to tighten this up tomorrow. But this one here, quite good and very tiny. Easy, quick and easy to read. A business book called Who Moved My Cheese? An amazing way to deal with change in your work and in your life. And if I just read some of the back of it there. 24 million copies sold worldwide. Amazing. Written for all ages, this story takes less than an hour to read, so it's a quick read, but its unique insights can last for a lifetime. Who Moved My Cheese? It is a simple parable that reveals profound truths. It is an amusing and enlightening story of 4 characters who live in a maze and look for cheese to nourish them and make them happy. Cheese is a metaphor for what you want to have in life. Whether it's a good job, a loving relationship, money or a possession, health or spiritual peace of mind. And the maze is where you look for what you want. The organization you work in, or the family or community you live in. This profound book from best-selling author Dr. Spencer Johnson will show you how to anticipate change, adapt to change quickly, enjoy change, be ready to change quickly again and again. Discover the secret for yourself and learn how to deal with change so that you suffer less stress and enjoy more success in your work and life. So yeah, that's a quick one. Like, look how thin it is. Who moved my cheese? So yeah, and again, I think I was given that. I picked these up, I think, a couple of years ago. I've always been into watching like military training, SAS, Navy SEALs, and the stuff that they put themselves through, the discipline. It's always been interesting to me. And I've been watching the program, the SAS program that Ant Middleton was doing over the last few years. In the UK, and then he went to Australia, but I picked that one up. It's actually really interesting as well. I remember years ago reading some other books by some SAS guys that were written based on some of the missions that they'd run. I was so amazed by the stuff that they put themselves through. But this is a good book, so check that one out. I know he has a few more. It just says in the back, celebrate your strengths, own your weaknesses, embrace positivity. He actually is a really positive person. And fluent French speaker, by the way, if you didn't know. Because he lived in France when he was young. They had to move to France. And that's part of the book. And then there's another guy, or one of the Rangers. So the army, the Special Forces wing in Ireland is called the Rangers. And Ray Goggins is one of the ex-Special Forces operators, and they did the similar kind of thing as the show that Ant Middleton ran over here in Ireland. Celebrity, and I think maybe it was only a celebrity version, but Ray Goggins, Ranger 22, Lessons from the Front. Really good as well. And in the similar category, on the back it says, and I think this is a quote from Ray Goggins himself, the path that I have travelled, the things I've done, the people I've met in crisis situations have given me a window into those qualities that make us perform. My military training created a mindset, an outlook, and skills that can be channeled into any situation. And I think that's true. If you watch the shows at all, you realise the discipline that these guys have is just unparalleled. If you've ever heard of David Goggins, he was an ex-Navy SEAL, you'll understand. David Goggins is probably one of the most famous ex-Special Forces guys now, and what he does, the 200-mile runs he does all the time, running ultra marathons all over the place. I just saw, I think I found out who the cheese one is from. Anyway, it's my wife's. I was wondering where that came from. They were in boxes, and when we moved, I just dug them all out again. I mean, I was nearly about to throw a bunch of them out, but yeah, that belongs to my wife. I think my brother might have given me the other one about. Actually, maybe it's another one. Who moved my cheese? What else have I got there? Yeah, I think they're the main ones from the self-help section that I have on the top here. And I know there's a bigger list of that I have. I've got a lot of them in actual audiobook that I've read, and an audiobook that I've listened to, and the Kindle versions that I have as well. So some that I have an audiobook. Let me just get the list of what I have in Kindle. There's some great ones here, because I tended to just do that and go for the phone because it was easier. But recently I wanted to get a bookshelf in place, and it's like having a library, a home library, having access to books. There's something different about a book that you can just go and have in your hand. It's more tangible. One that I have in the download is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I think that's behind me somewhere as well. That's a really interesting one. Is this my library? Oh, let me open mine. I actually bought one from another fitness guy as well, to do with health and fitness, which is from another guy called Ross Edgley, The Art of Resilience. And I know he has done some stuff with Ant Middleton. I think he knows him. So Ross Edgley swam completely around the UK, like entirely around the island of the UK, like unparalleled that he did that. That's one I have in there. Lifespan is another longevity one I have in there. Who's that by? It's gonna start opening this up. Lifespan. Inner Engineering is another one that I got. Has anyone heard of Sadhguru? So he would be, it says Inner Engineering, a yogi's guide to joy, Sadhguru. And yeah, so he's a yogi. And he's got some interesting stuff. He's actually got a YouTube channel now. So if you search for him on YouTube, Sadhguru, Sadhguru. He's got an interesting story. I won't say anything about him. You can check him out. You may have seen him turning up to Will Smith's house a couple of years ago, driving a motorbike. So a yogi on a motorbike, and he went in there, met with the family, and imparted some wisdom and spoke to everybody, and he seems really nice. So check him out. I've got a lot of health books, so I don't know whether, like, a lot to do with diet and things like that. I think I may keep those and put to a separate video. Different protocols, different diets, things to do with lots of different variations on diet and exercise. But there is another good one here that is about business and, again, personal development, by a guy called MJ DeMarco, DEMARCO. It's probably not as well known, but an amazing story, and just goes to show what you can do. He didn't know anything about coding or anything like that, but he ended up writing the code for a website that made him a millionaire, and he sold it again. He sold it twice, I think, and it continued to make him millions and millions over the years. So Unscripted is the book. Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Entrepreneurship by MJ DeMarco. Very good book. I think I have a few other audiobooks there as well, through Kindle. But that's just a couple of them. I've got so many, it's not very easy to find them. What have I got downloaded here? Yeah, one of the other ones that I had down was the longevity diet. That's kind of related to what I spoke about. And my wife is just texting me Atomic Habits. Yeah, Atomic Habits I got on audio. And I did show that book at the start. To go back to that one, that's actually probably one of the best books. And the audio book of that is really easy, to listen to in the car. and it just listen to it over and over again. It just sinks in. And if you prefer books, well, you know, that's the book. Atomic Habits. Easy and proven way to build good habits and break. That's really, really good. So the audiobook in that, or the book itself, good to have both. But I'm going to dig out a few more of them, and I've got a lot in different categories, like the health stuff as well. I'll bring them out next time. But Atomic Habits is a really great one. I am going to try and get into this one myself soon, the one by Jordan B. Peterson. I've watched a lot of his videos, but I haven't actually read his books, and sometimes the books themselves can be, reading the book you can get more detail, like with a movie. You get more detail from reading the book than you do from the movie itself, more focused. So I think I'm gonna have a read of that and see what else I can gain from it, because you know, you're watching these videos on YouTube and being interviewed by certain people, you can see how clever and articulate and informed he is about, and good at what he does. But I'm sure the book I'm sure there's a lot I can learn and glean from the book that would be interesting that I can discuss again. So I want to let people enjoy the rest of their Saturday night soon enough, including me. So I'm going to wrap this one up now in the next couple of minutes. But what I'd maybe ask is, are there any books in this category that you could recommend to me, or you'd like me to discuss or bring on here onto the live next time? Because I'm always interested to pick up I always want to learn. I always stay curious, lifelong learner. And if there's someone great out there that I haven't mentioned, or someone that I have, and there's another book that I didn't mention that you read and you got something great from it, let me know. Add a comment down below and I can check it out, and I can talk about it next time. As we start to do more and more of these lives, I'm just going to try and do a live each Saturday night, and that will make it again, if you want to start a new habit, make it easy and make it doable, something that you can put in place, not remove the barriers. So if I can just jump on here and do a live every Saturday night, it'll probably guarantee that I will do it, rather than having to write out scripting stuff and adding obstacles in the way that stop me from doing it. So I want to keep up the weekly schedule, at least once a week. I think once a week is a good way for me to do it for now. But if there are any other books, let me know. I'll check them out. I'll probably pick them up, have a read of them. Which do you prefer as well? Do you prefer the digital download through Kindle, reading on Kindle, or do you prefer, to get your hands on the actual hard copy, whether it's paperback or hardback? I think younger kids might just enjoy the Kindle or digital downloads because that's what they're used to. But there's something good about having the book. It's like with music as well, having the record or the CD, in your hands. I think records are making a huge comeback. People are using vinyl more and more, and books are kind of similar. They're tangible. You can hold it in your hand, and it feels like a thing, that you can connect with a bit more when you have it in your hand rather than just the phone, which is like the phone covers everything. So yeah, let me know, and I'll try and talk about them the next time. Maybe we can focus in on one particular book and go in much more detail on one. But there are lots of other topics. So in the coming weeks as well, the next one talking about failure again, and also health. There's a bunch of health oriented books and things that I've tried, and people that I've watched, and I'd like to get some feedback of people as well that maybe have again read the same things or looked at some of the same people, and see what nuggets you may have gotten from those as well. So yeah, we're coming up on probably about 40 minutes. How long are we on stream? 51, so not quite an hour. I had a little bit of trouble trying to set the stream up. It was giving me some issues, but I think we've just about got it right tonight. And I'm going to try and add some things to it, some overlays and more interaction. We might pull some of the books and summaries up on the screen, or whatever it is that we're looking at next time. Interact with it a bit more, and hopefully make it more engaging, or as engaging as possible. So whoever did join, including my wife. I know she had a look because she commented. And thanks. But for whoever who did join, thank you. And anyone that watches it later on, appreciate it. You know, add a like, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you want to see next time. And we'll try and discuss it on the show. I'm calling it a show now. It's just me on the live. But I'm going to try and keep it to doing the live. So, yeah. We'll leave it at that. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. And thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.